Hi, everybody. It's Jane with another interesting topic, at least interesting to me. I hope you find it interesting. But okay, let's get right into it. I recently kind of indirectly heard from some men that I had dated in my past. Um, I guess it was their way of reaching out to me. At any rate, I didn't actually respond back. And the reason was because, as I thought, reflected back on each dating situation, whew, it was horrible. Um, each one of them, it was actually, let's see who I heard from. It was about three different people, not at the same time, but three different people. And the first one that comes to mind, it was, I don't want to say surprising, but yeah, it was kind of surprising because I thought, um, my naivete, I thought he got the message that don't ever contact me again. It was horrendous. It was the first time in my life that I ever really truly um, dated a narcissist to the nth degree. And the other gentlemen the other men I've dated, they had egos, but this one in particular was really wrapped up in himself. It was just horrible. Um, he was, I guess, around my age, and he had been married before. He had a child. That child's grown now, but it was, and I met that child, his child, and he had met one of my children. And at first, it was the first, I guess, month was really, really nice. Some of you know how it starts out. And I never forget, I think I was having a car that I had back then repaired. Something was wrong, it was in the shop. And it was hard for me to really go out to lunch, pick something up from the job I had at the time, and get back in time. I literally was walking home. I was in enough distance from within walking distance from where I lived at the time, and from my job at the time. Everything was at the time. And yeah, so I called him up, and I remember I was talking to some females, and they were talking at work before, my former coworkers, and they were talking about, what they wanted to eat for lunch, somewhere they were gonna go. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna call my boyfriend. I'm gonna see if he could send me a pizza. And I called him because I'm thinking, I'm like, heaven on earth, this is great. He's really catering. I couldn't ask for a better boyfriend. I finally hit, the lottery on boyfriends, and I'm in my heaven until after I made that phone call. It was during the phone call. I asked him. I said, hey, I'm hungry. I was wondering. I can't get out. I can't get to it. So is it possible you could send me a pizza? Yeah. He pretty much insinuated that I was a gold digger. It was not a nice 2 minutes of my day. He lost his temper. He said, what is he, a bank? It's several things he said. And I'm thinking, wow, I just asked him to send me a pizza. I mean, if it was a matter of me having to wait till he got home from work and brought it to me, but there was a bit of a distance. but he did make it a habit of seeing me at least 3 times a week. But yeah, that phone call, and that was when I should have said, you know what, I apologize. Never mind. Have a nice day. And it should have been the last time I dealt with him, because, like I said, he had been catering to me, and I catered to him, for the little things. For the most part, he would come over to my place at the time, and I would offer to cook dinner, but he would want to go out to eat. All his choices. He wanted to cook for me, so it wasn't as though I was trying to take advantage of him. At one point, well, he would make a round trip sometimes, and one way was like 45 minutes. So I suggested, hey, why don't I pay for gas sometimes? Well, he didn't want me to do that at first. So I let it go. I said, okay, hey, like I said, I thought I hit the lottery. But when he acted like that, and also threw in, don't ever ask him to do anything like that, because he's not I forget the term he used, but the phone call didn't end well. But that was the beginning of the red flags, the door for me to have just opened and walked out through and closed and left alone. But I didn't. So I was kind of surprised to hear from him recently. Yeah, in any way, I'm a forgiving person, but I also forgive and let live. I choose not to be around you anymore. And I think I had given him a second chance. I did. Ladies, no, don't do it. But no second chances. But from then on, the next couple of months, it got progressively worse. So for me to have any further communication with him in this lifetime or the next, it's, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not doing that. I'm not going there. Nothing after that phone call would push me towards ever wanting to either speak to or be around that person ever again. And it's not as though we work in the same place and we're forced to see each other, or we run in the same circles and we're gonna bump into each other. This person is on one end of the country, and I want to hopefully leave it that way. I have nothing against his child, but I think in the interest of my peace of mind, I hope I never have to interact with his child, because you never know where you're going to meet someone. It's a small world. But I would not take anything out on him. I would treat him cordially, and then, how are you doing? How's everything been? It is nice to see you, and I wish you well. And that's it. If I were to ever somehow run into his son somewhere, but I don't. To me, I'm not, I guess, even now, not really understanding his logic. I didn't after that phone call, and that was years ago, and I still don't, other than the fact that according to the definition of narcissism, I don't want to be around somebody who is so self-absorbed. And I'm not a professional in the field of mental health, but it was scary. It was scary. The temper tantrums, as someone put it a few years ago, I heard online, having tantrums is not my idea of my peace of mind. I don't want to deal with a I don't want to deal with a child having temper tantrums, let alone a grown man that I am supposed to be dating. Don't flip out on me. Don't do that, because then I internalize it, and then at the time I internalized it, and I would come back at him like, what are you saying? What are you doing? Like, what's your problem? But again, there were things I learned. I said in the previous video, I learned a lot of things late in life because I was married for so long, and once I finally got back out there, it was though I was learning for the first time everything. And so taking going back with an ex, I wouldn't advise it, especially those who have been emotionally, especially physically no, draining or abusive, no way, but emotionally draining, that stays with you. It's internalized scars that to me heal over time, but it takes time, and I never gave myself that time. Again, as I said in a previous video, I was afraid to be alone, lack of self-confidence, and peer pressure. Yes, adults have that, their peer groups who pressure, for good, bad, or indifferent, but I wouldn't advise it. And then there was another one who I kind of sort of thought would probably reach out to me again somehow. They were narcissists, but not in the way of tantrums. They would say one thing and then ghost for however long and make up some excuse or have to leave or have to do something suddenly. Barely communicate at times, not to ghost, but would call and then act like nothing was wrong. Like, what you doing? I would get the YWD question mark or just the YWD. But I used to, again, having had low self-esteem and the other elements that come along with that, and I used to talk to him again. I used to fall back into that texting, and I used to try to convince myself that, he must really have missed me, and so that wasn't the case. I had to really, and by the way, I will say, a lot of us have friends or family that will tell us that person's not right for you. They see something wrong. So I'm not a big believer in someone says don't date that person, you don't date that person if they haven't been a mass, something really, really deeply, overtly, just in your face wrong, and you should see it. I'm talking about the ones who you have not had any problems with or anything like that, and your friends automatically say something's not right with that person. And just look out for things, be more cautious and more aware. But as I reflected on that person, I remember some very humiliating moments, moments of arrogance, moments of self-absorption that embarrassed me, humiliated me, degraded me. Things that were said, and I don't know to this day whether he realizes how deeply his words would hurt me, and if he would really even care. But I'm one of those ones that, I'm one of those ones that's on social media, and I pay attention to who you're liking and blah, 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 and what's being said. And if you're online, if you're contacting me but you're online and you're saying things to other women, like, hey, I can't wait to see you. Oh, you look so good. Oh, yeah. Or she sends you a wink, smiley face, a wink, face. And yeah, I saw you last night. Oh, hey, why don't you come hang with us? Or blah, blah, blah. To me, in a flirtatious manner. To me, if you respected me, and I wouldn't know this female, if you respected me, why are you online saying these things and then tell me, oh, I was just joking? Really? Really? You were just joking? Okay. But then you ghost and you make excuses for having to leave or not be seen, for days at a time. And you talk too much. You're telling me negative things about someone you dated, how crazy she was, how this and that. And I'm thinking, and every time they did that with a female, by the way, any of the people I dated, anytime they slammed another female, unless I knew her and she did something directly to me, offensive to me, I never disrespected her. I would challenge the man. Oh, I'm not afraid. When they would say, I can go anywhere, I'm not attached to anybody. I would say, hey, I would remember places they would tell me they would go with their exes. And I would say, oh, you're not afraid of anything. Okay. Well, how about we go? I'd like to find out about that place. Let's go there. And if they acted funny or got mad at me for suggesting it, then I knew that something was wrong. Either they were experiencing feelings of missing that person, or some unrequited love deep down that they really love that person. I just don't have time for that. So I reflected on this person, and like I said, too many embarrassing moments. And again, at first the person wasn't like that. Charming, would hold my hand, would open the door for me. But that quickly turned once, and I said this in a previous video as well. This person was a bit younger than me. At the time, he was in his I believe late 20s, and I was in my 40s. And again, the spiel about being so mature. But long story short, when the person reached out recently, I thought about that, and I said, and I'm thinking, what? I know. I feel very uncomfortable because the bad, humiliating, degrading moments outweighed the 1 or 2 months of him being kind, because it was wishy-washy, back and forth. And again, that was another one I took back. I started seeing again. Wouldn't say we were. He wouldn't say we were dating. He would say we were just seeing each other. Like, if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck. It's not. I didn't agree. Tell me from the beginning so that I can make a conscious decision whether I want to go into that. But yeah, so no, that one's a no as well. And then there was the one more. All I'm gonna say about that one is the time spent was not good, and I feel that one is just a way to trail me, just to try to see what's going on, because yeah. But for the most part, like I said, there have been a lot of bad times, and I have been trying to not be so judgmental, because yes, people do change, but because of all of the negativity, then I just don't all of the negativity from these individuals, I don't feel the need to ever speak to them again. So people need to move on. And that was a very hard lesson for me to learn and to actually to implement in my own life. Again, the words of a very popular motivational speaker, you have to protect your peace and protect your peace at all times. The chaoticness of dating the past few years had gotten to a point to where my emotional health was crumbling. My physical health was up and down. Some things were getting better, but then some things were getting worse. But then, it was just stressful. And for the times when I did find that I was at peace, I would have, like, the loneliness of not dating or not having a man there for me would creep in, and I would let that override my judgment, and I would fall back into the same type of dating pattern. So even taking back exes that were toxic for me. So on the exes coming back in your life with what you're doing or how have you been, I answered enough of those, and I'm just not doing that anymore. I'm over that. I've had the dating 101. I've had the advanced dating, and I've moved on from it all. I am very consciously happy not being in a relationship, because I'm not even going to say it's work. It's work in the sense that if you're a selfish person, you have to work on yourself to be a bit more compromising and willing to compromise and not overtake or control the relationship. You have to be able to respect the other person's opinion. You have to care about what they think, and you have to remember why you were ever wanting that person in the beginning anyway. And so I don't know what it was actually I do know what it was that kept me constantly going back. But these men, for some reason, when they're down, they just feel, oh, this person was so nice, I know they're not going to let me down because I was able to, do whatever, and they would still take me back. Well, again, as I did say in the previous video, my finger was stuck on the stupid button. And my finger is, it's now off. Yes, I took my finger off the stupid button, and I came to my senses. And for anyone, if there's an ex that has seen this video, because at this point I don't know, how do I know? I wish you well, but just remember how things were, how really bad things were, and I'm not the one anymore. I have grown tremendously into accepting that I deserve better and knowing I deserve better, and I am not lowering my standards ever again. So exes getting back with me, even on a friendly basis, unless we run in the same circles or you happen to be at some event that's being held, whether I'm giving it or someone else, then if I happen to see you, fine. And I'll speak to you if I see you. If you speak to me, I'll speak to you. Hello, how are you doing? But I do wish you well. And whomever you wind up with, I hope you're healed enough in your own life to not treat that person how you treated me, or maybe somebody else, you've done wrong. Because I think a lot of times, and I'm going to play devil's advocate here for a minute. I think sometimes the baggage that a lot of men carry, whether it be what's instilled with them from childhood on a societal basis, or on a global basis, or culturally sometimes, whatever it is, to create a situation in your mind where you have to be the dominant, you have to control, is not where I'm at. It's not where I am. I was never there, but again, low self-esteem, lack of confidence, those things, and the total disrespect and disregard for me as a person. There are, and I used to always say, there are a lot of ladies out there who would be glad to just have a man. Any man. They don't care what you look like. They don't care how much money you have. They don't care if you go out every night and leave them at home. They just need and want a man around them at all times. And that's their choice. That's their prerogative. But for me, and I've done the crying and the therapy, and the self-therapy, and the venting to friends, and the venting to some family members. I did it for so long that, even I got sick of hearing myself. I don't understand how a lot of us women get so lost. We lose ourselves in our relationships, and there's no compromise on our part. So I've grown past that particular element of the relationship deal, and like I said, I wish you all well, the exes that are saying this, but it's not where I'm at anymore. I wish that everything that happened in the past will be a stepping stone for progress in your journey towards finding you're the one, whoever the one is in your mind that exists. I hope you find that person, because I do know that a man, if he truly loves a woman, will do just about anything to keep her. He will not want her out of his life. And I'm talking positive. Now, of course, there are some cases, abuse cases, where the men are mentally ill, and will love a person, but because of whatever mental deficiency they are suffering from, or mental illness they're suffering from, will cause them to really truly force a relationship to a disastrous end. But for those men who are of sound mind and body, and who are not suffering from any type of mental illness, as far as devastation, some kind of devastating act, I would suggest you seek some type of therapy, counseling, to bring forth a better man, because projecting your frustrations and your expectations and your views on how women need to be is ruining your future relationship. It's not going to be, I know when I found this one, I'm just going to do everything for her. Something's going to give where you're going to have to, hey, check yourself. If you want that person, before it gets to the level of her saying, I'm out, So the peer pressure, again, I said in the previous video, the homeboyish attitudes, you have to be man enough to know to take, If you really love someone, act like it. Your friends are more or less going to treat that person as you're treating her. That I do have another excerpt on that note that, and I'm just going to leave it at that, and then go back around to my initial comments, but that whose friends helped ruin the relationship. I mean, we were fine until he just couldn't take it anymore. Excuse me. And then he allowed a lot of unnecessary instances to occur. So, and I really wish him well. I hope he gets help. That's another video for the subject about that. But everyone, I want to take care of themselves and learn from your mistakes. And it doesn't mean I don't hate any of these previous exes. I just don't want to. I choose not to be around them based on the toxic relationship that we had. So, my advice to women in taking back your ex, don't do it. Because 9 times out of 10, they really haven't changed. They're just wanting to come back to you because of feelings of familiarity. They don't want to be alone. They may have had an argument, big blow up with the ex, with the ex before you asking you back. They may miss something about you, your cooking, your money. I don't know. It could be anything. Your house, your apartment, whatever the case may be, your car. And that's no reflection on you. That's not saying, oh, then they want me as a person. It's not my house that they want. It's me as a person. Don't take it personal. Don't take it personal. It's not you. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just that particular ex just wants you for what you can give them. They don't want you as a person. And just like they say, oh man, these women are you a dime a dozen, blah blah blah. Well, guess what? There's a man out there that wants you too. It may take you a while to find that person, but you may need to travel. You might meet your the one outside of this country. You might meet, or he may be in this country but from another country. You may meet the one. Like I said in another video, take a dance class, take a class period anywhere for whatever your interests are. Create something, a group, I don't know, travel more, do things, go out, go take trips to the grocery store, shop around, go to the mall, walk around. Yeah, I don't know. Just get out there and safely talk to people, meet people, do things, there's a lot of group everything out there. Pick something if you really don't want to be alone. But like I said, there is the dating for fun if you want to do that. But and I'm not going to sit here and say that's risky, because dating period's risky, whether you're just out there for fun, or you think you're serious with someone, because they could be cheating and bring something back to you, but or have something and you have no idea. But just on the subject of taking back an ex, please think about what went wrong. And if it was you that broke up with the person and that person was brokenhearted, really wonder, because do they want to get back with you? And I really hate to say, I don't want people being paranoid about every little thing. Oh, well, he wants me. Oh my God, now I got to think about everything. Yeah, you do. You should, because he might just be wanting you back so he can have his day of revenge. Be careful of that. I've heard of that happening. So be very careful. Again, if it was just you that did something wrong, or maybe you just wanted to walk away for a minute and he really loved you and he had been trying to get back with you for the constant begging, I would still say no. because then that's on you. You have to realize, I walked away for a reason, and I need to, because before you walk away, you should have thought that through. It shouldn't have been a snap judgment. I'm just mad right now and I'm going to leave. No, you should have think it through before you do something like that, because then it's your fault. Then that's something you have to deal with. So if he's a good guy and you decide to walk away, just walk away. Walk away. I haven't seen the percentages on people who take people back, because they do, but some of them work out and some of them don't. And I know a lot of the wanting to get back with the ex is based on familiarity, regardless of what the situation may be with the other person. But yeah, mine, for me anyway, it's a no. I would love to read in the comments what you think. Are you back with an ex? Did you do what I did and gave him a second chance and it still didn't work out, and now they're trying to come back for a third time? I mean, I actually did take somebody back twice, and it was worse each time. But anyway, that's another story too. But yeah, I'd like to know, what are your thoughts on taking back an ex?